What's up, guys? Welcome to Achilles. Champions League yesterday was absolutely incredible. Real Madrid showed what they are capable of doing in a bright day, and then they showed their experience. Even though Manchester City showed what they can do, they showed their quality, showed their momentum, but in the end, the experience always counts. And Real Madrid knocked City out. To my Ghana's fan, the Arsenal fans, it's not every team that can come to Munich, the Bavarians' home, to just get a win out of that. Arsenal, once again, is not something new for all of us, have bottled out Champions League again, and they are fighting for the league title. Now, is it going to be possible? A lot of things that we're going to be discussing. Champions League, football game. If you are excited, if you're a football fan, stay tuned because it's going to be much interactive. And hey, I have with me Nana Kwame, and for sure Eddie is here with us, the only man among us who got that VIP ticket to watch a Champions League game, and also the man Sami is here with us as well. So if you just join us, remember to subscribe and be part of this amazing community because your voice always counts. Starting with Sami, an incredible game. City, City, Real Madrid. Everyone thought City was in control of the game. But in the end, penalty disgraced a lot of good players because I'm still thinking about it. How on earth a player like Modric and also Bernardo Silva could miss a penalty? Come on, football. That's why the game is so exciting, that you cannot get everything you need out of it. What's your general view about that game?
Okay, so football is always football. That is the first thing we have to say. Football is dynamic. Football changes. Football is full of different emotions. And yesterday was one of the thrillers of football. Now when Madrid and City plays, it's mostly like, as it's been said, the modern day El Clasico. Both sides showing how good they are. Going to yesterday's match, you could see that Man City was the favorite to win. But then let's give our big shout outs to Ancelotti. He got all his tactics right. He knew that he cannot compete with Man City when it comes to ball possession. So what he does is he's going to play deep, and then he has these pacey guys, Vinicius and Rüdiger, to move on the counter. And that's what helped them. You can see in the first half, the first goal was the counter goal, and that is what exactly he had planned for. On the other side of City was not clinical at all, and I'm sure till now they are going to bust their bubbles. They are going to actually they lost the game themselves, but they're not forgetting the goalkeeping error. The goalkeeping heroics of Madrid Lonin was top class. And in order to win the Champions League, I think you need a good goalkeeper. So yesterday's game was interesting. When it comes to penalties, penalties is no one's game. That's one thing I always say. Penalties is no one's game. Because you can do everything, and when it gets to the actual point of penalties, then you're eliminated. We have likes of... So when it comes to penalties, you need a little luck. Yeah, so that's what I'll say. And Madrid were the victors.
Madrid was the victors because for sure penalties, I don't actually blame a lot of players for missing penalties because it can happen at any time. But Kwame, you've been the Real Madrid fan here. You've been massive supporter of Real Madrid, but your confidence into the game was very low. And in the end, Real Madrid qualified to the next stage of the competition. How excited are you, and what do you bring out of the game?
I'm very excited, but yet again, I'm not surprised. Our matchups against Man City, I think for the past 3 or 4 years, I would say 3 years in Champions League, we faced Man City. And I think it's mostly Man City that has taken us out in these past 3 years. And either we've gone through, I think the one we went through, we went further to win the cup. And the other times they took us out. And anytime we match up against Man City, I'm not confident because I believe Guardiola so much in his tactical quality. And the funny thing is, it's still the same game plan Ancelotti has been using against Guardiola. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And I think for yesterday, Madrid had some level of luck, and it worked for them. And you see, when Doku came in, things changed. So imagine if Doku was playing the whole 90 minutes, that would be a problem, a very big problem. Carvajal couldn't handle Doku one bit. He wasn't a match for him. That was a mismatch totally. And you asked about Modric and Silva
Yeah,
on the penalties.
Silva, yeah.
For Modric, I understand because he's not been on the field of play for some time. And taking penalties, I think you being consistent on the field of play adds up to your chances or increases the chances when you are taking a penalty. It makes you more confident. You are more used to the ball, that kind of thing. So I would excuse Modric to that extent. But on the side of David, on the side of Silva, if that ball yesterday, if Lunin had moved to a direction and that ball went in yesterday, we would say that, oh, what a classic penalty under this kind of pressure. And he's made such a penalty. That would have been the story. But because Lunin didn't move and he grabbed the ball, these kind of penalties, if it doesn't go well, that is the end result. The keeper will just grab it like that. It would have looked spectacular when it had gone in. And we faced the opposite. That's my idea on penalties. And in general, Madrid, the game plan was simple, but Guardiola said yesterday in the interview that he's usually, when teams defend deep against him, usually they end up finding a solution. But yesterday, unfortunately for them, they couldn't find a solution against Madrid. And I think Madrid did a good job with staying deep and defending. We were able to hold our ground still. We won till we qualified. So, but for me, based on the game, I still believe Man City should have won it. But I say Madrid has some level of luck because if you come, there were chances. The ball was on us, possession after possession, and there were very good chances. De Bruyne had, after scoring the goal, he had another chance and he was close to scoring, and that could have ended the game for us. But I would say there's some bit of luck played in yesterday's Madrid's qualification. Though I'm not surprised they qualified, but I think some luck was on our side. Yeah.
City created a lot of chances. He hit so many bars in the game. De Bruyne, what a midfielder. Yesterday was incredible. Haaland could not get that kind of ending touches or scoring for Manchester City. What do you make up of the whole City attack and then Real Madrid actually defending the entire game? Because that's what I'm going to put it.
All right, so my general view about the game between Manchester City and Real Madrid, what I would like to say is, on the neutral grounds, we were all expecting City to outhandle Real Madrid,
Yeah.
Anytime these two giants are playing, all the expectation we have is for Manchester City to outhandle Real Madrid. And yesterday you could see all the statistics. Everything was in favor of Manchester City, but sometimes football, you don't get what you expect.
It's true.
We were expecting Manchester City with their performance and statistics and everything for them to proceed to the next stage of the competition. But they couldn't probably play against Real. They couldn't outsmart Real Madrid. Champions League, they say it's a character, it's spirit character. And all Champions League is about Real Madrid. So yesterday, the boys were able to defend very, very well to probably extend the game to penalties. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't expecting a penalties in this game because when Real Madrid got the goal in the earlier minutes of the game and the way they were defending, so I was thinking probably they would have hold onto their grounds to kill the game in the 90th minute. But when there's too much pressure on you, you can't defend till the end of the 90th minute. So probably you could see Kevin De Bruyne give City the goal they were expecting. And the game went to an extra time, all things being said, it went to penalties and Madrid were able to qualify. And with what you said about Haaland, Haaland has been a one-way player. Anytime he's played against big clubs, not even only in the Champions League, you could see in the EPL as well. When he's not getting the supply and the defenders are always on him, it's very difficult for him to probably get touches. He doesn't come for balls. He's always in the 18-yard box waiting for supplies. So in big games and in difficult games, when he's not getting the supply, when the midfielders are being stuck, he's not getting the supply, he becomes totally outplayed. You don't see Haaland in the game. So that's totally what happened to him yesterday. And I'm not surprised.
And Eddie is not surprised. Neither am I surprised as well because, Haaland yesterday and the whole entire season, I think he hasn't been of best after the injury came back earlier this season. It's not working perfectly. You could even see he's equalizing a goal tally this season in Premier League with Chelsea new signing, Cole Palmer. And that is what is the season all about for Haaland. Real Madrid had a young team, and a lot of people were thinking, this time around Madrid had young players, and City took the trophy last season. They've been together for quite a long time. But yet, City were not able to make anything out of Madrid at home. And mind you, these fixtures, Madrid have never qualified when the the fixtures is at Santiago Bernabeu first and Etihad second. So it's like Madrid is also making a history in a way for themselves. Do you think that's the reason why they actually qualify, or they were just luck, like Eddie said?
One thing you should know is that the team that won the treble is no more the team this season. They've lost the likes of Gundogan, who was
Yeah.
very instrumental. Some other players, Mahrez. No, Sterling was left long ago before then.
Okay.
But Mahrez had left. Yeah, I think the most instrumental person who, when it comes to giving them goals, was Gundogan. He knows how to control the play, the tempo, and everything. We all know how experienced this guy is. He left to Barca. So then City, on a natural rule, has dipped down with quality. Notwithstanding with the other players they still have quality, but they have been deep down. We've seen the likes of De Bruyne, Haaland getting injured for a very long time. They have still not been able to get back their normal form. Yeah, but notwithstanding, Madrid too has also tried to inculcate the new guys in the team. Especially we saw what happened to now in post learning. We've seen someone like Militao being injured. So now Nacho and Rüdiger is taking the spot of Militao. When it comes to the midfield, we've seen that Toni Kroos is still there, but he's not so effective like he was. But though with his experience, we've seen the likes of Modric. Modric too is also on and off. Now he plays more or less Camavinga, then Valverde, then sometimes Tchouaméni. You see, so yes, it's a young team, but then this young team have had a lot of experience when it comes to the Champions League. If we take the likes of Jude, who is also new in the team, has also proven very good this season. So looking at both sides, I think I'll still give the experience to Real Madrid when it comes to the Champions League, because City just won it once. And looking back for the past 3 seasons or 4 seasons or the past 5 times, those who have won the Champions League, you can still see Madrid there. And they have still some quality players. Vinicius is young, but I think he has 2 Champions League so far, or 3. That of Rodrigo, who also saying, when it comes to the midfield, we have Valverde, we have, these guys still have more experience than the City fans. All what the City fans can boast is, the City players can boast is, they won the treble last season. But then this is a new season, as I said earlier. They have been drop of form, they have been drop of quality. So definitely Madrid can boast of experience. But then for the game, as my guys rightly said, the game was hands down, how would I say, a beating of Madrid. Madrid had nothing to do. All what they did was to defend after they scored a goal, which was also one of their tactics. And I think it helped them. By the end of the day, you are playing against Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid on a bad day can still win the Champions League. That is how it's like the competition was made for them. They have that luck. They have that spirit. And I think the more you win Champions League, the more you build that spirit, or the Champions League fever likes you. So I think that's what happened yesterday.
Jude Bellingham.
Grealish, yeah.
I agree with you 100%. Rüdiger was a 10 out of 10 in both legs, and he completely silenced Haaland. He was organized. He covered up when there was a bit of a counter. As you said, Grealish had a chance, and I almost thought it was going in, but in the replay I saw that Rüdiger deflected the shot, and Rüdiger was perfect in that match, and he could have had the icing on the cake if he had. He had a chance where he was right at the left side of the goal, and he had a shot at goal, but it wasn't on target. That would have also killed the game. Yeah. So Rüdiger has been perfect, and this was the 4-0 to Man City. Was it last year? Yeah, because when he was available, I always thought Ancelotti would start Rüdiger alongside Militao. But at the time, I don't know what Alaba had shown him. Probably Alaba was on a bit of a form, but I don't prefer Alaba in the centre back. I always prefer him to be in the position he used to play when he was in Bayern. That's the left back. Yeah, I feel he can be rotating Alaba with Mendy. And Alaba, the only problem is he might not have the speed that Mendy has. Mendy has the speed. So that's the only difference. And so I expected him to start Rüdiger and Militao. But whenever Militao was available, we just match him up with Alaba and bench Rüdiger. So now that he's seen this from Rüdiger is a warrior in football. The guy is, I don't know. Yesterday when he was taking the penalty, he's not a penalty taker, but from the energy that he gives in the football, the character that he shows so that positivity alone, it reflects, or it's being radiated through the game. And I wasn't confident in him taking a penalty, but my colleagues I was watching the game with that, he's still going to score. He's still going to score because he's such a positive person. So I totally agree with you. I totally agree.
but it's
It's
not
recording
It
recorded.
here.
is. It is
Recording.
It's
recording.
recording.
Yeah, it's
Recording,
recording.
yeah.
Okay, first of all, I'm not going to blame Arsenal. If you're a true football fan, you know that leaving the Champions League for 7 years and coming back, you don't expect them to prove wonders. So first, they went in as the underdogs. The only thing that people got them excited is they were leading the Premier League table. So people had forgotten that it's different games. If you are playing well in the Champions League, or if you are playing well in the Premier League, it doesn't mean you do well in the Champions League. That is how these two competitions are, especially looking for the likes of Chelsea. Chelsea won the Champions League but playing poorly in the Premier League. Now, coming back from 7 years in this tournament and meeting the team who usually eliminates you was a tricky one. Yeah, they played well in the first leg and the second leg played, but sometimes that's where the experience build up is. These guys are new to this Champions League. Most of them are new to the Champions League. They don't have this experience. So that's when you need a magic. You need something to put the goals away. But then you see them fumbling, you see them. The guys are good. Ateta has actually done a good work, but I think when it comes to the Champions League, I actually knew that they will be eliminated. But then coming back to the Premier League, now that you know that City is out, Arsenal is out, Liverpool don't know what they are doing currently, I think it's going to be a very interesting turn of events in the next 6 games for who to win the Champions League. But I still take City to take it. But then Arsenal will try their possible best to put in a fight. But then I see City still winning this Premier League.
I think Sammy hit the nail on the head. I think the experience won the game for Bayern because these guys have been here over the years, back and forth. So they know how the system works in the Champions League. And as he said also, your form in the Champions League doesn't determine, sorry, your form in your league, your domestic league doesn't determine your form in the Champions League. Teams perform badly. Madrid is also another testimony. There was a season Madrid was so poor in the league. Go against Atletico. I think Atletico will score us both home and away. Like we actually struggled against these our rivals. But we met the same Atletico in the Champions League and it was a different story altogether. So experience won the game for Bayern. I think the first half, Arsenal came in game. I think Arsenal played better in the first half. I think second half, that is where Bayern took over things and the pressure was back on Arsenal. But in the first half, Arsenal was there to win the game. I don't know what happened. I didn't really watch that game very much. But per the statistics, Arsenal lost control of the game in the second half. So Arsenal is they are still growing. They are still growing. I think it's a growing process. They will get to the time where I think the experience will be more, maybe they will have a few more quality players and they might be getting the results they want. Arsenal has impressed me this season, not just this season, but last season and this season also, because Arsenal for the past 5 or 6 years, they were in doom. It was Arsenal everywhere on the memes, and here today we are talking about them in the Champions League. So it's been a big upgrade for them. And things don't come that easily. As time goes on, hopefully. For the league, I don't see them winning it. I already told you about that. As far as you allow City the chance to have a 3 points lead or even just a 1 point lead with probably 2 points lead with probably 6 games, even give City with 10 games left in the league to play, they will do a do or die. They are going to win the rest of the games. That is Guardiola for you. And I don't know why for the past seasons that City has been winning. I think for the past 3 seasons, it's always the last 10 games. Then someone will just mess up and City will just take up and the league is over. I don't know what is happening with the other teams. But for the Premier League, I don't see anyone competing against City. Because City, seeing their remaining matches, they have
Chile,
come on.
Chile, are you
Come
serious?
on. we even pray they will play a Europa Conference League. Their hopes are down. Chelsea, we have to create a new league for them next season so that they can play. So what was I saying? So for us now, it's it's going to be difficult, but let's see what happens in the rest of the season.
Yeah, to add to that, I think Joshua Kimmich's problem with the board hasn't been with performance. It has rather been with the coaching staff and also where he plays. Joshua currently wants to play as a deep midfielder, but then they feel like they have a lot of midfielders, so he should go and play the right back. For the past 3 seasons, he doesn't want to play the right back. He's a versatile player who started from right back, but because of his passing and how he can read the games, he then developed to be a defensive midfielder. That's where he wants to play, but that is where Thomas doesn't want him to play. So then there was that beef between them. But then I think getting a goal still doesn't change his personal feel about what is going on. I think this current season, Bayern is trying to do a serious renovation. As in what happened in the league, in every club, it goes to its peaks. Then when you get to the peak, comes down, then goes to a peak again. So this is the time that Bayern Munich will try to do as much as elimination by rough tactics, taking out a lot of players, bringing new ones to start over a new era. And I think this alone can help Hans' system again. This alone can help Kimmich to try other experiences because he has been there for quite a while. Arsenal is in pursuit of him. Barca is in pursuit of him. So I'm sure he's going to take these options and see where it's going to help him. And I think I have a feeling that he might leave this season. To come and do what? To come and do what? Oh, no, come on. Don't do that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's Champions League, and everything is possible. Harry Kane is still the class C player. For me, I don't see any depreciation in his performance, though he's not met the standards that, Lewandowski was having when he was in Bayern. But I feel it's more of probably the style of play that Tuchel is using. Yes, definitely. That's why I'm saying that for his performance, there's no dip. Because even yesterday, he had a chance, and it was a very good chance. The post saved Arsenal. Harry Kane could have already even buried that game. So I don't see a dip in his performance. I think